You're listening to the One Step Deeper podcast with your host, Jimmy Moore and Brittany Davis. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com.
Howdy ho, how you go?
What?
And howdy ho, how you go?
That's a new one for me.
I'm a poet and don't know it.
Oh, God. How are you?
Why?
Because I'm curious about you.
Why?
Because you're my friend.
Why?
Oop, and there goes the deep question.
Yes, I'm great, thank you. I'm messing with you because today's topic is all about asking why and the yin and yang of that. And I look forward to getting into this with you. But yeah, I'm doing good, just doing my thing, doing all my podcast. I had a podcast right before we came on here, and so never a dull moment. I work all during the week so I can go on the weekends.
I go whenever I need it because I just have a schedule, and then I'm just like, nope, too much happened today. I need a rest day.
Yes. So, and yeah, you've been back out walking again after you took a few weeks off from your 75 hard, post 75 hard. And yeah, that's got to be fun other than the noise and all the everything. But
yeah, I started asking myself the question, why? When I was like tired all the time, like, why am I so tired? What is wrong with me? I'm like, oh, I probably need to get moving again. Get some schedule back in here. So yes, why is a positive sometimes, but I'll let you introduce before we get all into that.
Yeah, so episode 47 today, you guys, the yin and yang of asking why. And as Brittany just alluded to, there are good times to ask why. And there are some really bad times to ask why. Ask any mom of a 2-year-old that if you like the word why. Do you like the word why when you've had 3 2-year-olds now?
Okay, we'll get into that a little bit. I have a love, maybe loathe relationship.
A love loathe. I love it. So yes, we will get into that here in just a moment. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com is the website. Go check us out over there. You guys see all the past episodes of this here show in both audio and video format. We do debut on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern time over on YouTube. Go check it out. Type in a keyword search, One Step Deeper. You'll find the show there. We also throw it up on IGTV at the One Step Deeper Instagram page, as well as over on, what'd you say?
Video. No more IGTV.
Oh, that's right. It's very autonomic in my brain to call it IGTV still. But yes, Instagram video. Screw you, Instagram, for messing with my brain. So. But yes, Instagram video. Actually, I do like it a lot better because I can just use my iPhone and upload a full 60-minute episode, whereas I used to have to do it on a computer. I don't have to upload anything to Instagram from a computer anymore. So that's cool. So yes, over on Facebook as well. Use One Step Deeper. You'll find the show there. On Mondays, we are a traditional podcast. Go check us out over on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, ALEXA, and then leave us a review in whatever format that you listen to. The reviews definitely help out the show. And then last but not least, we do have the tidbit that we put up. I try to get it up a couple days before the show. Miss Thang here is always busy, so she's like, can I still put it up? It's Sunday morning now. Can I put it up now? I'm like, yeah, I'll get it up whenever. So, but it gives you a little sneak peek of what the show is about 15 minutes of the 60 minutes. And so a lot of people like those. So if you can't listen to the full episode, that's what you should go listen to. But we got lots of fans that love the whole thing. And by the way, our book, One Step Deeper Journal, is coming along, guys. It's getting real. Miss Thang here was like, I'm kind of scared. It's coming. It's happening. I'm like, what are you so upset about? No, this is the fun part.
I had to dig a little deeper, ask myself some why questions.
Yeah. Yes. But we're going to have fun with that. That's coming out in early 2022. We are in the midst of the editing of the manuscript now. So just bear with us. We will get it out. But I'm telling you, it's going to be fire. Like I sent I sent Brittany some of the ones I was working on. She's like, whoa, look at you. I'm like, well, I have to match you because you're amazing in like going deep. I told you every word I ever read from you, you cut, and it's like it's a good cut. It's a surgical cut. So, and one of the entries that you have is about this topic we're talking about here today of asking why, and it's so critical, but nobody does it. I think because they don't want to know the answer.
Yeah, and so that's where we get into the yin and yang, the good and the bad, because why is such a powerful word. It just depends on how you use it. It can be powerful in destruction, and it can be powerful in production and like just producing so much deeper thought. But either way, why is taking you deeper. It's just the question of what is it taking you deeper into. So a lot of people get stuck up in this, why am I here? Why am I like this? What's wrong with me? Why don't people love me? And they just get kind of stuck in these questions, and they stop there and they never keep going with it. And so that's been the cool thing about my personal development journey, was this one question started it all. And it was more of like, why do I believe what I believe? That was like my initial question. And it wasn't good enough to just go, well, why do I believe that? I had to go, okay, why do I believe that? I sought the answer. And then I go, but why? But why? But why? But why? And so that's why, like I said, it's so powerful. And that's why earlier when you asked about the kids, it's a love-loathe relationship, because yes, it's a very time consuming to have a young child asking all these questions, but then I remind myself, why is how they learn. So when they're asking, why is the sky blue? Sometimes I don't know that answer and I have to go look it up. I do know, but like I have to go look it up. But that's when I learned that let them ask the why questions, because we're going to learn together.
Okay, so you're going to drive people crazy because they're listening or watching our show. Why is the sky blue, Brittany?
God, why? Why would you ask me that? Like right here. I don't know, because it's the color that's reflected off the ocean. I don't know.
The funny thing is with kids, you could actually BS them and they would never know. Have you ever done that to mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you did. I would. And then later on they'll be like, but mommy, you said, yeah, I was wrong. Here's the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interesting thing about why is you give a damn at that point. The only reason you ask why is you care. You want to know more. Like you're not just satisfied with what you've been told, what you just believe, what you think. Why is the epitome of going one step deeper? Like you can't go one step deeper without asking that simple one word question. Why?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like if we could just nail down one step deeper what it is, it's using this question in a powerful way, in a positive. And so yes, excuse me, a lot of us get stuck on the negative of why, I've covered that, but like the positive of, okay, let's say for example, why am I not confident? That's the question that you ask. Well, you could go the negative route and go, I just don't understand why I'm never confident. I don't have confidence. And you can just stay stuck in that muck. Or you can go, okay, why am I not confident? Here's an answer, possible scenario. Well, I'm shy. Okay, but why am I shy? Well, I was bullied. Well, why was I bullied? Well, people are rude. Why are people rude? That's a question I can't answer. But you can go, okay, I saw them as rude. But perhaps the perception of rude was that they were confident, and I didn't want to be what confident looked like because confidence was rude. And so that's where you go, oh, I need to unlearn that confidence isn't rudeness.
Yes.
Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is not bullying. That's where you have to unlearn it. So now you can climb back up the ladder with your why of, now that I know this, how can I get back up here to being confident? And so that's kind of how it goes when you take why in a positive way. Just dig a little deeper, go a little deeper until you're like, oh, there's the answer. I got it. Fix it.
And there's the thing, like why is literally peeling back the layers. I think about like a big pile of bodies, football players, when the guy has the ball and they all jump on a pile together, and you have to peel back all of the guys off until the guy's down at the bottom going, I got the ball, and he's all covered up. But you you needed to know. You had to peel back the layers in order to find out who had possession.
Sorry, every time you say layers, all I can see is Shrek. Ogres are like onions.
There's a lot more to ogres than people think. Example? Example? Okay, ogres are like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
Oh, you both have layers. Oh. You know, not everybody like onions. Cake! Everybody.
That's all in a mom of some little kids, and you've watched Shrek a million times. So.
Oh my gosh, that's all I can see. Okay. Oh goodness. So one of the things with why, when you get stuck in that muck, to kind of help you come out of that, when you're just like, why me? Why am I like this? Why can't I lose weight? Why can't I save money? Why? The why that we don't want to hear, the whine. I don't like those. I get there too. Don't worry about it. Anybody watching?
Brittany, I don't know. I don't know why.
Ugh. Okay, you have to kind of change it to go, instead of saying, why can't I lose weight, if that's your thing? Why can't you? You know, what makes you believe that you don't have the capability? What makes you think that you aren't confident, or that you can't possess confidence, or what can you do, you know, and stop just kind of staying in the muck.
And why care about weight loss is what, another why question. Like, we could take why to any level. Why could stay very surface level. Why could go a little deeper, and then why could take you in the left field of, why can't I lose weight? Well, why is it important to you?
Yeah. Woo, slap somebody with that one. That is a good one. And it really is. Like, why? I've had to ask myself these hard questions. Why do I let the scale define who I am as a human being? It's a number. Why do I let a number define me? And then it goes back into the depths of diet culture and the depths of society. I mean, we can go there. But, like, digging deeper to get to those root causes. Man, I have still been, like, in the aftermath of the enlightenment that happened just a few episodes ago. I don't remember exactly which one, but I had an aha moment. I don't think you were quite as impressed as I've been. It was 2 weeks ago. Okay, 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about quality time and our love languages and self-love. I think that was the episode. And I was like, oh, I get it. I know I like spending time alone. I got to the why. It's because my self-love is giving quality time to myself, because that's my love language. And it was like this why moment of, oh, I got it. It makes sense now. And so why is such a push towards understanding who you are, why you believe what you believe, but you have to be willing to use it as a tool to go deeper and not get stuck in the why spiral.
Yes. I mean, you could go negative with the why. Why is this happening? Oh, I'm a bad person. But why? Well, because I was always told when I was a kid I'm a bad person. But why? Well, my parents didn't really think I was worth anything, so they always kind of berated me. Why? Well, I guess it's because I was really, really bad. And you can go down this death spiral in a negative thing, or you can take the same scenario. Why am I a bad person? Well, I don't really think I'm a bad person. Maybe I do bad things from time to time. I'm not a bad person. But why? Well, it looks kind of fun to do some bad things from time to time, but I'm learning I don't need to be doing that. But why do? And yeah, I mean, you could take the exact same scenario, ask the exact same question of why, and it can go down this path or this path. And we're not saying that everything has to be hunky-dory bed of roses by the end of all the whys that you ask. There might be 10, 12 whys before you get to kind of this root cause. And it's not really the question why. It's the where are we digging down to at the bottom of that football pile and seeing the guy, holding the ball. Who's got possession of the ball is what we want to know. We don't really care. This guy, we're just throwing things off to get down to the answer that we're actually looking for.
Yeah, that's a really great analogy. I like that. A place that people often get stuck, though, and you and I've talked about this is probably one of the most cringy things that I've ever heard is perhaps somebody asks you a question and you say, well, it's because I'm just a bad person. Why are you like this? Well, I'm just a bad person. And then they say this one, it's just the way I am. Ugh, cringe. Ugh. I hate it. I hate when people are like.
But right there's where you can say, but why are you that?
Yes.
People that are well, it's just the way I am, they don't have an answer to the why. They just are. They have so let it define them. And you and I know, because we talk about it a lot, it's their trauma. It's something that coping mechanism, like we talked about a couple weeks ago. Like, it's so many things that when you start asking why, you make people, perhaps for the first time in their whole life, ponder why. That I don't think enough people even have it come on their radar screen to ask why they're a certain way. Well, that's just what I do. And I've called you out a little bit, both publicly and privately, about you going to hide when you are upset. Now, why are you that way? Well, but what, why? And I think you found a nice medium ground, which, you've gotten better at it. Actually, I want to publicly say you've gotten amazing at it, because used to you would clam up and you wouldn't talk. And like just this week, we had a nice conversation, and in a scenario where you never would have called me in the past.
Yeah, and that's true. And you're right. Some of those why questions that you posed back to me, it did. I love to think. I love to dig deeper into myself and understand why I am the way I am. And it was really cool to understand that I can be both. I can be both things. I'm sorry. Now all I see is Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. My brain is on fire today.
Hold on. Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds in a movie?
Oh, please tell me you've seen that TikTok of Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue.
The TikTok. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of a movie they were in together, and I'm like, what? But yes, the TikTok, yes.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. My brain, guys, I took Alpha Brain today for the first time in a few weeks, and my brain is on fire and everywhere today. Do you remember what I was saying?
So thrown off by Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
Keto can be hard. Tabulating, measuring, baking, taking 3 months to perfect one recipe, and to mixed reviews.
Did something die in here? Oh, I think it moved.
And by that point, you give up your diet, find a dark corner, and stuff yourself with sugar, carbs, and regret.
This, isn't what it looks like.
Well, this is where Keto Chow saves the day. The easiest, tastiest, ketoist meal replacement on the market.
It's like ice cream melted in my mouth.
Yes, but melted ice cream with all the protein, nutrients, vitamins, and electrolytes your body needs.
Oh, that's cool.
And with 3 starter kits, each with restaurant tips, keto food guides, and a ton of flavors to try, your taste buds and your waistline will thank you.
Thank you.
So grab your starter kit today at jimmylovesketochow.com.
It's so easy.
Keto Chow. Make keto easy.
We were talking about our conversation, and we were talking about being on the phone, and I had realized that it is cool that I can be both. That's what it was, because I can be both things. I can be both a person that goes and dwells with herself and is comfortable being alone and deals with her problems on her own, but I can also reach out to those people that I love and that care for me and that will ask me the hard questions. And, I appreciate that in my friendship with Jimmy, that if I have one of these really dark moments and I'm in the why spiral, Jimmy can pose it in a different question, in a different way, to say, hey, okay, I see you're spiraling. We're going the wrong way with why. Let's pull it back this way.
Yeah.
Really cool to have a friendship. And I do the same thing for you when you get there. We all get there, guys. We all start the why spiral. We all do. And yes, we could go trauma. We can go so many different ways. But the truth is, to have a good friend, or even do it with yourself. I do it with I like doing the why, pull myself out situation. I do that on my own as well.
Yeah, but that is so hard when you're in the death spiral of why in your head. This is why when you were having your tough time, I was like, hey, I'm here for you just to listen. And if you ask, I will probe and everything and go deeper. And yeah, we talked for a very long time. And I would say like the first hour of our conversation was just trying to get you out of there. And then suddenly you became Brittany. Then you were back, and it was fun. It's always fun to talk to you, but I like it now that you're more open to not just trying to internalize it, which you're great at. I'm not great at it. I'll be the first to admit when I'm spiraling, I need to talk to everybody. I'm literally exactly the opposite of you. Like when I'm not doing well here, I got to talk to my friend Brittany, and if Brittany's not available, I'm calling everybody.
It's so funny. We are the yin and yang of each other. I'm just saying, we're just so opposite in that way. But I want to talk about another area that why can be so powerful, and that's within relationships, and within specifically understanding that why, asking that question is such a form of intimacy. And so this is played out with Wildman and I. So the other night, I'm going to tell myself, okay? I'm going to tell myself. Jimmy already knows this story. So then the other night, Wildman had called me at 7 o'clock like he usually does. He was at work. He's like, hey, I'm going to have to work a little bit late. And I was like, I need a definition. What is a little bit late? I'm calm at this point. He's like, maybe like an hour or two. Okay, cool. So my very hard and pressed rules brain goes 9 o'clock. He's leaving. Cool. 9:30 rolls around. I hadn't heard from him. Call him again. I'm a little upset at this point. Okay, you said an hour or two. It's 9:30. Oh, I have just a little bit more. And I said, no, you don't. You're coming home, because I began to react, and I'll get to the why in a second, but I began to react. Nope, you're coming home. Okay, I need you to be home. He's like, I have a little bit left. I'll be on my way. Then it was 11:30. That is not a little bit. I call again. There is no calm left. There is only reactionary. And I'm like, what the hell are you still doing at work? It's 11:30 at night. What is going on? And he ends up not leaving work till 12 and not getting home till like 12:30. And I unload. And I was not happy. I was like, are you kidding me? I need you here. What is wrong? My children need you. It wasn't even children at that point. I was so in reactionary. And my sweet, calm husband, who has walked through this why, good and bad with me so many times, was so calm. And he said, I completely understand. I understand why. And I was angry because I'm like, fight back, man, fight back. And he's like, no, because I get it. I understand. I know why you're upset. And I was like, enlighten me. Enlighten me. But he knows it's because my love language is quality time.
Yes.
So when I get no love, and when I get no time with him, I feel unloved. Even though it's an act of love, him being at work and working and earning, that's an act of love. I don't feel that because it's not time with him. And so instead of being calm and just saying, honey, I know you have to work. I love you so much, but I really wish I could spend some time with you. I was like, anger. Anger is not emotion, it's reaction. Anger is the big mama bear in front of the vulnerable emotions. And so I've done the work to dig why, to understand why I was reactionary, but I haven't quite mastered the don't be reactionary just yet.
Yes, and for those of you that don't know, Wildman is her husband, and he's only home a couple days a week. And so those 2 days, I don't even talk to Brittany, really. A couple times I've heard from you on the days because nobody was awake, and you're like, hey, you want to talk while I've got time? But like most of the time when you're with your husband, I'm like, all right, that's family time for Brittany, because I know how important that time is, because he does work such long shifts. And sometimes till midnight, and then has to go to sleep, get up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again the next day. So it's like, yeah, part of that is you caring about him. And okay, so the why isn't a nag. Some people might see why within a relationship as nagging. Well, you're only nagging because, no, why could be I care about you, and why is basically probing for what makes you want to do it. By the way, did he say why he had to stay late and why he said an hour, but then it was more than an hour? It would end up being about 3 hours extra.
Yeah, It's a complicated thing. I won't get all into it, but basically, just like most of the world right now, they're short-staffed at work.
Yeah.
He's the only supervisor on shift and the only supervisor pretty much across the board, I think. And so he's training someone, and so he didn't want to leave the brand new, untrained supervisor.
And so did that satisfy your brain noodles? That was why he had to stay, even though you're balancing it in your mind with your personal needs and the needs of your kids, with he's balancing with it. Okay, I have personal needs, making my wife happy and my kids and taking care of them. I'm working extra hours, so that's providing for them. So in his brain noodles, he's like, I'm doing a good thing. Whereas you're asking, why aren't you home? And he's like, okay, you're right. I would like to be, but there were things that superseded at the job. But now you have understanding, because now you know the why behind why he was late, and now you kind of go, shoot, I wish I hadn't have blown up at him now.
As I usually do, once I calm down and the mama bear angry calms down and the vulnerable emotions come out, I call him the next morning when I wake up, and he's at work already. He's always at work. He's at work already, and I call him like, okay, so sorry that I act that way. I just want you to understand that the why I reacted that way was because of XYZ. You weren't here. I missed you. I hate seeing you work so much, all of the reasons. And he's like, I already know.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't react because I knew that your mama bear anger was this deeper reason. And so he's played this game with me before. He knows how I operate by now.
This is hearkening back to many episodes now where you talked about the Barwick anger. And it comes with the terror. He has ridden this bull a lot of times over the years of y'all's marriage.
Yes, and so that's a good way to look at even relationship, using why within a relationship. And listen, rewind to the beginning when these kind of arguments would happen between him and I. There was both reaction on both ends, because he didn't understand why I was being so reactive when he was just at work trying to provide for us. And I didn't understand why he kept choosing work over coming home and being with us. And so there was contention there. But in our calm, outside of those reactionary things, when we start asking the why questions, why do you feel the need to work even though you're scheduled until 7? Why do you feel the need to work past that? And this is where we get into his Enneagram. There's, guys, personal development overlaps, okay? Chris feels loved and appreciated when he's working and gets that appreciated back. And so him being at work, it strokes something in him to provide a service for people. It does something for him. And so it's a form of his love language. I know that sounds weird for people, but it really is. And so now I understand. He's like, I can't leave this new guy at work. He needs my help. He needs me. I have to do it. That's my wild man. If somebody needs him, he's going to be there for them. But he knows that he has permanence within me, and so he doesn't have to worry as much. And so it's a complicated thing, but the why question is what has gotten us to this place where we really don't argue a whole lot anymore. It's usually just, I understand why you feel the way you feel. Well, I understand why you feel the way you feel, but I still feel this way. So can we work on that?
Yes. By the way, her husband's real name is Chris. She calls him Wild Man. Just for new people, they might be like, who is this Wild Man and this Chris? Wow, she got concubines for husbands. So what is this? So same guy.
Yes, my husband is Chris. It's Chris and Brittany Davis. Might as well be freaking Ken and Barbie. We don't have original names, so we call him Wild Man.
You got good Southern names. Only thing is, if his name was Bubba, it'd be perfect. Brittany and Bubba.
You do know that's what people called him, right? Before I came around, his whole side of the family still calls him Bubba, and it irks me so much I cannot stand it.
Bubba and Brittany. And if they took on your maiden name, it'd be Bubba and Brittany Barwick.
My uncle's name is Bubba Barwick.
Bubba Barwick. That sounds like Bubba Gump.
Moving on. Moving on. Why lets you be curious? And this is what I love about the question. It allows you to be curious about things. And so the beginning of my journey was, why do I believe the things that I believe about me, about this, about society, about all of these things? And that was when all the boxes came in of, hold a minute, this is a lot to ask at one time. Throw it all away and just start to piece by piece those layers of, why do I believe? So one of the lies that I've told myself for many years is that no one would love me. I am unlovable. Why do I believe that? Well, I was traumatized as a kid, and the person who traumatized me made me feel unloved. Well, they made me feel unloved by treating me a certain way. And so I learned that because he was supposed to love me, I then in my brain developed, well, he is supposed to love me, so this is what love looks like. And so that's what I began to give to myself, even though that's not what love was. And so I had to dig deeper into that. Why do I believe that I'm unlovable? And I had to dig deeper and deeper until I realized I'm not unlovable. He didn't love me. What in the way he treated me was not love. And I had to distance myself from that. But the only way I learned that was to ask why. Yeah. And so now I know I am lovable. There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with him, but there's nothing wrong with me for just who I am. He treated me in a way that was unlovable, but that doesn't make me unlovable just because he treated me that way.
And I love this because this is something anybody can do. If you're start with personal development for myself right here, this question: is there an area of your life you struggle with, a mentality, just a part of who you are? Just ask yourself this question: why? And then when you get back a layer, ask it again: why are you that way? And you keep going back. And I've had many revelations, Brittany. I remember calling you on one of the days Wild Man was home. I'm like, I just got to tell you, I know you're home with your husband, but I've got to tell you, I just realized, I forget exactly what it was, but it was just some revelation about why I was the way I am. It was about this needing to talk to people when I'm upset, because I was not allowed to talk when I was a teenager being abused. I wasn't allowed to ever express my feelings and talk. So now my default of why I'm this way is I'm making up for lost time with, like, all those years I basically had hands put over my mouth and shut up. You're not allowed to talk. Now it's like, shut me up. I'm going to talk. I'm going to express how I feel. And you understand that. Like, you gladly say, okay, let me have it. What's on your mind? And I love that.
Yeah, I absolutely loved listening to that aha moment that you had. And it was because asking that why question. So why reveals conflict. It reveals the depths of that. And so it's at the end when you've got that moment, that aha, it's like, my emotions can be calm now because I've gotten to the truth. And it doesn't mean that it has to be an absolute. It's I've dug as deep as I can go with this to figure out, just like you went as deep as you could to figure out why you react the way you react now. And then you can question, okay, reacting the way I react because of this reason, is it serving me today?
Right.
And so now, I got to the end of that, treating myself unlovable. Is it serving me today? Well, hell no, it's not serving me to treat myself that way. And so I had to unlearn that. Reparenting, this is kind of in there too. The going away, the being quiet, the thing that I do, I had to ask myself, is this treating me well today? Is this beneficial for me today? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And so it's a give or take. And so same with you. Is it beneficial for you today to need other people? Well, I would tell you, be reliant on yourself, and yes, need other people, and that it can be both. And so I think that's the beautiful harmony of both where you're at and where I am at, is I have to learn it's okay to need people, and you have to learn it's okay to be okay by yourself.
And that's the beautiful thing. I am better. I don't think I'm as far along as you are. You're much better at wanting other people when you never have before. That's my initial reaction. Even after doing all this work, I still just want to talk. And, I've got gracious friends. You're my best friend, but I have probably 8-10 more people that if Brittany's not available to me, I can reach out to. And one of them usually will respond. Where I have to learn to to kind of be okay is when none of you are available. And I had moments over the past year or two where nobody was available and I was going crazy. And eventually you would get to me, but it's like you were in the midst of life, you're living your life. And I understand that a lot more now. So I am better. I'm just not there totally yet. I'm working on it still.
And as hard as that was, I bet you learned something.
I learned that I'm going to survive. I won't die. Whereas in the moment, it does feel dreadful. Well, you've been in deep, dark places very recent ago. And yeah, but what did you do? You got out of your comfort zone. You're like, why don't I want to talk to people? Wait a minute. I do. And it's like, I do, but I don't, but I do. And then when you did, I think you were glad that you and I talked yesterday. Got it all out. And I loved it because you're like, I know I'm taking up your time. I'm like, girl, I want to talk to you. This is why I'm your friend. Like, this is what I live for. Plus, I feel like you helped me so much through a really traumatic time in my life the last couple of years. I got a lot of making up to do. I know it's not true. We're not keeping tabs, but anyway. But yeah, that's great.
No tabs to be kept. So another thing that you can use why for is, and I like to do this, I started when I was on my weight loss journey. They will tell you when you got to have something to anchor to. And so when you're on a weight loss journey, and so anchor to a why. Why are you doing this? And so, of course, I took it one step deeper and I was like, okay, this applies across life. This is not just about weight loss. And so when I was on that journey, which, I've talked about many times, led into my personal development journey, and I dropped the weight loss side of it, and I just started to go into this entirety of personal development. Why am I here? What am I doing this for? What is my anchor point? A lot of people will anchor to their kids. I love my kids, and there are a lot of things that I do because of my kids, and they are my why in some of the areas, but they can't be my complete anchor because they're not always going to be here in my home. I won't always be for them what I am today. They rely on me a lot heavier because they're 9 and 7 and 4. They rely on me right now. But when they're 25, 35, 45, they won't need me in the same way. And so I can't anchor my soul and what drives me every single day for them. Okay, that was a side note. But so I started asking myself, what drives me every single day? Not just with a better body or a better mindset, or what is it that drives me every day? So it used to be to rise, because I had gone why all the way to the bottom until I was like, I want to rise above anything that life throws at me. And that was the beginning of this journey. Along the way, I had to ask myself again, because saying that my why in life was to rise gave this false sense of I'm always below. I couldn't be on top, because it gave like this, there's always something to rise above. And I had to get out of that. I had to get out of that mindset that there was always something to rise above. And I needed to get to this place where I could become. So there, when I asked the why question again, and I kept digging deeper and deeper, I was like, my new why is to become a better Brittany, and to just become who I've always envisioned myself as. And I know you've pushed back on this as well, because I became Brittany. I need to not push so much to be better and better and better, but I'm on this 1% better every single day. And, if I fall back a little bit, that's okay too. 1% better every single day, 1%. And so I feel like there's always areas for me to grow, just like I had that reactionary situation with Chris, and I dug to the why of that. 1% better the next day when he has to work over again. I'm going to do my best to communicate to him how I'm feeling instead of be reactionary. So there's always growth that can be done, but my why in life now is a lot different than it used to be. It's to become a better Brittany.
You know what why does? Why opens the channels of communication where maybe they've been closed. Because if you're asking why, you're saying, okay, where you are now is discontented in some way. It's uneasy. There's some unresolvedness about where you are. But when you ask why, it kind of says, all right, because ... Okay, but that doesn't really get to the root of it. Why? And so I love why, because it opens up the channels of communication. Whereas, but for asking that one simple little question of why, you never get to it. You never communicate. Very rarely, let's put it that way. There would be no reason for you to probe your mind for that question unless you've heard that question.
So you guys know I've been doing 75 hard, right? One of the requirements for this is drink a gallon of water per day. I still find myself needing a little extra boost and a little bit more electrolytes to fuel all of these workouts I've been doing. And that's why I'm super excited to be partnered with Element right now on the One Step Deeper podcast, because I am needing all the electrolytes and they are providing life for me right now. They sent me this amazing package, guys. Look. What? We got watermelon, we got orange, we got raspberry, and my personal favorite is citrus, because listen, it reminds me of margarita, and during 75 hard, you can't have those, so I'm telling you, this stuff is giving me life. So if you're interested in trying them for yourself and getting some great electrolytes, you can go to drinklmnt.com/Jimmy, and there you can get a free sample. All you have to do is pay the shipping. Hope you enjoy. Remember, just as Element says, stay salty.
Yeah, so I know I've brought this up several times over the last few episodes, my new budding relationship with my dad, but it just, all of the personal development stuff led me to here, so I kind of reference it a lot. Sorry, not sorry.
It's a deal.
But why was the question that led us to where we are. I remember, we didn't talk for 6 months, and I thought his why was this thing, and he thought my why was this thing.
Yes.
And so we had made this perception of what each other's why was, and it was so far from the truth.
Yes.
And so when we paused and actually said, okay, why did you do this? Gave me his reasons. And he's like, why did you do that? I gave him my reasons. And so that opened up that line of communication like you're talking about. It opened up so beautifully because you were like, oh, well, that's not what I thought it was.
Yes.
And
well, you had the same with him not coming to your graduation, and you had a narrative in your mind, and you never thought, let me ask why.
Yes.
And then when you found out the real why, you went, all these years, like you create these stories in your head based on your assumption of the answer to the question why, but not actually asking that question.
It is so dangerous, guys. Listen to me. It is so dangerous to live your life out on perceptions and perceptions.
Presumptions and assumptions, yes.
Yes. So I had a narrative told to me by other adults when I was a child about my dad, and they painted this picture of the kind of person that he was, and gave me whys for why he didn't come around, that were never true. And so as mine and my dad's relationship has begun to just develop more and more and more, I felt really freaking bold one day and said, okay, in order for what I feel like to dig deeper into our relationship, I need to know the answer to this question. And so I said, why didn't you come around when I was a kid? Why? That's a really hard question. And like, that's burdened me my entire life.
Yes.
And he began to tell me this story, and I could see the sincerity in his eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it blew the lid off of the entire narrative. And it makes me so sad that I didn't ask this question before, but I'm thankful for it now. Don't get me wrong. I'm so thankful that we are where we are now. But it sucks to have lost so much time over, I could have asked why a lot sooner. It's a scary question. It's a scary question, but I guess I'm trying to tell you guys, be bold. Ask the question. It's okay. Ask why. And it's scary to know the answer, because it might not be an answer you want to hear. And it's like, what he told me I wanted to hear, but I also didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it because it just blew up my entire childhood.
And that also defined why you guys didn't talk for 6 months. You had a lot of kind of assumptions based on that inaccuracy of the narrative you told yourself. You see what opens up with why, you guys? It's like truth serum. The truth comes out, and it's almost impossible for it not to come out. all with the simple question, one little question, WHY with a question mark. That's it. And you ask that question. And I had this similar thing happen to me, Brittany, 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, when my stepfather died. And I talked to my mom about some of my trauma, because she was the one that had me, or I thought that he was the one that had me shipped away to live with my dad, who then beat me for 3.5 years. And so I talked to her about that. I really hate that the stepdad had me sent away. And she's like, he didn't have you sent away. I did. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Why? I asked, why? Well, I thought he was going to kill you because you're a very strong-willed kid and he was very temperamental. Okay, but didn't you know about Dad beating me? And she's like, oh my gosh, no. And it just, when you let go of the narratives, maybe we should do a whole episode on narratives we tell ourselves that aren't true and how they rule our lives, because this is a big topic. I think we could probably do a whole episode. 2022, we'll look into that one. But simple little question just probes open the doors for you to say, whoa, like when you heard from your dad the real deal of why he wasn't at your graduation, you're just like, oh, I hated you at my because of that. I loathe that you didn't care enough. And it happened again during your hospital stay. He didn't come to see you. And then he explained why. And you're like, oh my gosh, he does love me. Yeah. But I believed he didn't love me because he wasn't there. And if he loved me, he would have been there. That's all you had in your mind. And when he explained it, you were like, crap.
Yeah. Well, and even when I explained it back to him, and so we oh my gosh, the times that him and I just laugh now when we go to breakfast together and we're like solving world problems. We're just like, God, dog, we're the same person. His love language is quality time, as is mine. And so by him not coming to these events or these life things that happened to me, I felt extremely unloved. And so he was beginning to tell me, you know, his why. And then I would tell him, okay, but I felt this way when you did that, sir. How do you feel when people don't show up for you? He's like, oh. I was like, yeah, please just always show up. Okay, that's my love language. And so because we took why and just went deeper and deeper and deeper. He has always said for years he never understood me. Like he literally, like out loud to me, he's like, I don't understand you.
You know why? Because he doesn't understand himself, or he didn't. Maybe he'd understand before, but he didn't understand himself.
Yeah.
And
he never asked the question. It wasn't a question that he asked.
But this is the fun thing about your dad now. You have created a monster. And I know hi Mike, he watches our show and listens to our show. From what you've described to me, he's a new guy. Like he still has issues of a mid-40 guy, but like at the end of the day, Brittany, you have been more of a parent to him than probably his parents were.
I don't know.
It's your daughter.
Yeah, I don't know. But Tessa, I was on the phone with Tessa, my sister. For anybody who hasn't heard that name yet, my sister, she's 10 years younger than me, so she's 19, and we were on the phone just before the podcast, and she's like, Brittany, I don't know what you did to Dad, but like we talk all the time. He calls me, I call him. She's like, I don't know what you did, and I was like, I don't think I did anything other than tell him, stop sitting around in the, why are they like this? Why don't they call me? Why don't they do this? And take action and do something about it.
He asked why into the stratosphere, not to the people that needed to hear why. That was my problem. And I love it now that he wants to have a relationship with you. You guys go out for breakfast on Saturday morning, even sometimes more than that. And now he's talking to Tessa, and he wasn't always having a good relationship with any of his kids. And now look at him. He's making the effort. He's putting in the time. He's asking, why is there friction? Why am I like this to you? Why do you feel that way about me? Like this is pretty much encapsulating what's happening in your family right now. It's cool.
Right. This story, like using why, is like this example in my life was the strongest example that I can show you guys to understand how powerful why can be. The one question that was asked between me and my dad. And I would dare to say, like, yeah, we did the work after we asked the question, but we asked the question and it has opened up this beautiful relationship. And sometimes, okay, I have to take it the other way, because there's not always a happy ending. Okay, I would view it as a happy ending too, but I lost some friendships last year, and I began to ask myself why. And when I asked the question why, and I got deeper into oh, well, I probably don't need to be friends with them anyway. And so the why was painful, and it wasn't some resolution like it was with my dad. But I began to understand that by asking the question why and getting that information, it was okay to walk away, and it was okay to just accept that the why might not be what I want it to be, but it is the information that I need to move on.
And be sure before you ask that question why, that you're ready for whatever the answer is, because there are people that they might willy-nilly ask that question, Brittany, and they don't want to hear what's about to hit them. When my mom told me she had me sent away to live with my dad, I mean, that was a why question that took me for a loop, and it kicked me off kilter. You were with me during that time that I'm going, can you believe it? And and even in the aftermath of that, my mom and I, we kind of butted heads a little bit to the point that I had to leave early, and I was upset because I was still processing that answer to why. So why, I love that you said it doesn't always end in a happy ending. Now, my mom and I have a great relationship now, but in that immediate aftermath, after having that revelation of me asking why, and then she tells me the truth, and I'm just like, but and it just, it rocked me. But look what happened because of it. Now I know the truth. Now I know what really happened. Now all those narratives based on me not asking why before, but assuming I knew why. Now I know exactly why, and I'm more at peace with myself. That's personal development, like 101. If you can learn stuff about yourself and realize all it took was just asking why and getting to the root of something. If you've got nothing else out of this episode, this is what we want you to remember. Ask that why so that you get more revelation about who you are, what you're about, and bring peace to yourself where there's chaos.
Yes. And I love that why. Now, be careful, because if you ask it the wrong way and you're not ready for the answer, why can bring just as much anxiety as it can relieve it. But for me, the way I've looked at it, and I've gotten so far in my journey that every time I ask that question, I make sure that I'm mentally prepared. It relieves such pressure on these narratives that I have, and it just relieves so much questioning that I have and anxiety that I have. And so I lean on why so much more. And even in my friendship, you and I, why are you that way, Jimmy? Why'd you say that? And I'm not scared of the question anymore. I'm not scared of the answer, because I've learned that whatever comes on the other end of why is information. I
have always loved asking you why, because when I do, you're like, okay, here we go. You're the weirdo, because most people, they hear the why. But this little lady here, all I got to do is say, so why, Brittany? And you're like, oh, don't Brittany me. That's something you would do, and I learned it from you, and yeah, it's beautiful, but you're the rarity. But I do love it when I start playing Brittany with you. I did a little bit of that with you yesterday. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put on the Brittany hat, you be the woe is me Jimmy hat, and play this game.
I love it though. When I was going to therapy, my therapist, I had 3 sessions, and I swear to you, I got out of 3 sessions what probably people get out of 6 months to 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, you just answer questions, don't you? And I was like, listen, I am here because I know, okay? I just need you to ask me the right questions that I'm not asking myself. I need you to help me dig a little deeper, because I've tried to do it on my own. I just need somebody from the outside looking in and asking me questions that don't know me. And so it was like lightning speed. I got what I needed. And going to those few therapy sessions, I started talking to my dad.
Yeah. We got to get you back to that therapist, because that was an interesting time in your life, because you had just lost Mr. Chris, and you were kind of in the aftermath of dealing with some of that. And all the everything that's happened in 2021, which as I think about it, we're towards the end of the year now. You had a lot of stuff happen this year. Not like 2020, which had a lot of other really bad stuff. This has been, if that was the year of the turning point of I don't know where I'm going, this year's been the year for you of, wow, this is the manifestation is what I would call 2021 for you. What would you call it?
Do you remember my word of the year?
Say it.
Fruition.
Yes, fruition. I said manifestation. I got close. So, but yes, fruition. Gosh, please come up with a good one for 2022 of abundance, I guess maybe. Could be.
I'm already thinking. I learned my lesson with 2020. I will never touch that word ever.
Remind us of that one.
So a little background story before I say that. Every year, I don't do resolutions. I do a word of the year, and I just let my entire year encapsulate that word. And so 2019, it was learn. 2020 was elevate.
Elevate.
Which I didn't know. I didn't know that in order to elevate, I had to hit the floor. And I did. I hit all the way to the ground, almost died. I don't like that word anymore.
You can't elevate unless you're as low as you can be. Then you can elevate. Any amount of anything you do becomes elevate. So.
I was like, wait a minute, universe. I'm in elevate from where I'm at right now. I did not mean take me lower to re-elevate me. I didn't say re-elevate. I need to be elevated from here.
But now look, fruition has come about because of that. So
yes. Now, I am cautious with those word of the years now. I am cautious.
And next year, abundance or whatever you come up with. So
yes.
But yes, so episode 47, the yin and yang of asking this little question. It seems so simple to ask why, but I hope you've seen from both of us sharing from our own lives how powerful it is that you care about someone else, that you actually want to dig deeper within yourself to learn more about yourself and the people you care about in your life. Why? That's all it takes. Just ask why. Now, not in a whiny way do you ask why. You got to make sure the why is a sincere, contrite. You want to make sure you're doing it in the right tone, but why can be so powerful. Hope you guys got that here today. Miss Brittany, take us home.
All right, guys. The website is onestepdeeperpodcast.com. Make sure you go over there. All the past episodes are there. The episodes go up every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. That's the first place you can find it. On Sundays too, I'm sorry. They go up on Instagram video, and on Facebook as well. There's a little link put up so you can follow over to YouTube. Then on Mondays, we are a regular podcast. You listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts. My favorite is Spotify, but you can listen to wherever you listen. Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Alexa. And leave us a review wherever you listen. If you're on YouTube, we get a lot of comments from YouTube. We love you guys. We love your comments. We love your comments, but give us a review somewhere, okay? Head over to Apple if that's where you listen, or Spotify. Head somewhere and give us a review for the podcast. And also, if you want to message us privately, Jimmy is Living Low Carb Man on Instagram, and I am Becoming.Brittany Lee on Instagram, and we love hearing from you in that way as well. I hope you guys loved this episode, man, and I hope you really do ask why in your everyday lives, in your relationships, in your personal development journey. I really hope you use this as a tool.
It is so powerful, and hopefully we demonstrated that for you guys here today. But Miss Brittany, thank you so much. I think we have one more episode coming up, maybe two, but it's not many. So before we go away, because we're going to be gone the week of Thanksgiving, that Sunday and Monday before Thanksgiving will be our last episode of the year. So I think it's next week when that comes out. Anyway, soon and very soon, and then we'll be away for the holidays and come back in the new year 2022. Got lots of ideas in mind for various episodes, so stay tuned, you guys, and we'll be back again next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
OneStepDeeperPodcast.com